After leaving her ex-husband Cody Brown behind, Sister Wives star Janelle Brown is ready to blossom and has a new home and business to show her fans. In a recent Instagram post, Janelle revealed she's growing her business ventures with one of her and Cody's 6 children. Janelle Brown opens a flower farm with daughter Madison Brush. Here's the scoop. Janelle shared a picture of herself on Instagram on Sunday, September 22nd, revealing that she was working with Maddie's husband, Caleb, and her and Cody's kid, Madison Brush, née Brown. Wearing t-shirts featuring the emblem of their company, Tata Farms, the trio posed outside. Janelle told her admirers about her passion project in addition to the photo opportunity. "I am so thrilled to finally share our passion project with you. We'd love to invite you to come along on this wild, messy, and beautiful journey as we build Tata Farms from the ground up." Even though starting a new company hasn't been glamorous, Janelle continued, she's eager to watch how it grows. "We're converting heart and sweat into something beautiful, and we want you to be a part of it all. There will be a lot of sweat, dirt, and learning along the way, but every step will bring us one step closer to something truly unique." But after marrying David Woolley, Sister Wives actress Christine Brown may have changed her course, but her recently published memoir has revealed some startling details about the family she left behind. Viewers have been shocked by Cody Brown's multiple wives throughout the run of Sister Wives, particularly when it comes to his 3 original wives. Christine, who married into Cody's family in the mid-1990s after Mary and Janelle Brown, was one of the 3 wives who would eventually leave Cody behind. With her 2020 divorce from Cody, Christine took the lead. Her decision to leave the family caused a significant shift, leaving Cody and Robin Brown alone. Although Christine took some time to consider whether leaving Cody was the right course of action, she made it clear that she wasn't prepared to compromise on her morals. Christine moved on because she wasn't getting the true love and devotion she was looking for in her marriage. Although Christine's memoir, Sister Wife, a memoir of faith, family, and finding freedom, shares many behind-the-scenes moments from the series, the most notable things Sister Wives fans have noticed from the book are the shocking emotional moments Christine unpacks. Christine also revealed some real surprises about the Brown family in her new book. Taking readers behind the scenes of some extremely difficult moments, Christine's memoir was illuminating. It confirmed many of the theories that Sister Wives viewers have had about the family for years, if not longer, and included moments that have long been discussed, such as Cody's "knife in the kidneys" comment, as well as things that are not shown on screen. It was especially devastating to learn that Cody's treatment of the children, especially those he shares with Christine, Janelle, and Mary, has been much worse than viewers had imagined. Although Christine was forthright about the situation, she made every effort to control the emotions of the Brown family. When discussing her personal experience, Christine was forthright and honest about her feelings while being tough and direct about what transpired. Despite being honest about the behavior, Christine maintained her composure while explaining that her experiences with Robin were consistently challenging. As Sister Wives Season 20 approaches, it becomes evident that Christine wants to have the final say on the past she shared with the Brown family. By treating Robin with dignity, Christine maintains her status as the larger person. Christine is going above and beyond, shocking Sister Wives watchers with her honest truths. But on yet another sunny Flagstaff morning, the cameras rolled. Fans of Sister Wives had been witnessing Cody and Mary's relationship deteriorate for years, to the point where it was nearly difficult to fathom them ever coming together again. However, something felt different this season. Mary sipped coffee and scribbled in her journal while sitting on the balcony of her rental home. She had been putting a lot of effort into improving herself, concentrating on becoming independent, starting her own bed and breakfast, and reclaiming her identity outside of being one of Cody's wives. She no longer harbored resentment, but she also no longer expected miracles. Meanwhile, Cody had been having trouble. He became aware that neglecting his connection with Mary wasn't helping as family tensions increased, and his relationships with Janelle, Christine, and Robin took complex twists. Even though he was aware of the years of hurt they had experienced together, he couldn't ignore Mary's continued presence in his story. Cody unexpectedly came up at Mary's house that day. When Mary opened the door, the cameras captured her surprise. Cody, why are you here? She raised her eyebrows in question. He smiled, a little awkwardly. While I was passing by, I thought we might have a conversation. Just us, no cameras, no lengthy speeches. After hesitating, Mary nodded and beckoned him inside. There used to be a lot of stillness between them as they sat across from one another at the kitchen table. However, Cody leaned forward this time and shouted something that his admirers hadn't heard in a long time. I'm aware that I've offended you, Mary. I have been aloof and have allowed our issues to fester without taking action. I don't want to give up without trying, even if I'm not sure if we can solve everything. Mary wiped away her tears. It was the first time she had heard such words. Cody, I've changed from the person I was before we were married. To be honest, I don't think we'll return to our previous state. However, perhaps we can proceed in a different manner. They spent hours discussing the catfishing incident, their years apart, and the loneliness they had experienced together. For once, there was no defensiveness or shouting.
Just be honest,
Mary said in a confessional. I'm not sure what this means for us yet. However, it seems like Cody paid attention today. It has been a while since that occurred. They were seen walking together through the woods close to Mary's house later in the episode. Despite not being romantic, the talk was kind and full of smiles and giggles. At-home viewers might perceive a change, perhaps not reconciliation in the conventional sense, but advancement. Mary said it best at the end of the show. This isn't about going back. It's about seeing if we can come up with something fresh, something healthier, that works for us both. It felt, for the first time in years, as though Cody and Mary were beginning something new together rather than on opposing sides of a broken marriage. The audience was eager to see what would happen next, whether it was friendship, a partnership, or the beginning of a new love. But with her hands clenched together, Mary sat calmly on the couch and gazed at the dim light from the lamp in the corner of her living room. Her mind was still repeating the moment her daughter, Mariah, sat down across from her and conveyed her news. It had been a hard day. Mary wasn't sure how to respond at first. As though two entirely distinct emotions were battling inside of her, her heart felt both heavy and light at the same time. She had always hoped Mariah would trust her with the most significant aspects of her life and feel at ease enough to open up. However, after it had already occurred, Mary discovered that processing it wasn't as easy as she had anticipated. There's something I need to tell you, Mom, Mariah had murmured, her eyes a little uneasy but her voice calm. Something about my identity and my desired course for the future. Mary recalled the skip in her heart. She listened, leaning in, and when Mariah eventually told the truth, they were silent for what seemed like an eternity. Mary was repeating every word hours later. She was feeling transformation, not disappointment. For Mary, change was difficult. She had battled to establish her own position in the family and had spent years in a marriage that had changed and developed in ways she never entirely anticipated. Mariah's revelation now made her reevaluate her views, expectations, and the future she had always imagined for her daughter. Mary knew deep down that she loved Mariah without conditions. There was nothing that could alter that. The mother in her, however, was also concerned about how the other members of the family would respond, if Mariah would feel sufficiently supported, and whether she would be able to lead with love rather than fear. Mary heard a gentle rap on the door as she sat there contemplating. Mariah was the one. She entered with a wary expression, as though she wasn't sure if her mother would want to see her. With a slight catch in her voice, Mary said, "Hey." Mariah sat down next to her and said, "Hey." The only sound in the room was the ticking of the clock. At last, Mary extended her arm to grasp her daughter's hand. With sparkling eyes, she remarked, "I've been thinking about everything you told me today. And I simply want you to know that you are loved. Regardless. My love for you won't alter, even though I might need some time to digest everything." Tears filled Mariah's eyes. "Mom, that's all I wanted to hear." Mary's heart relaxed for the first time in the day. Perhaps she didn't know everything at the moment. Perhaps she was still getting used to this new phase of her life. However, she understood that she didn't have to figure everything out in a single day. The most important thing was that her daughter felt loved and safe. Mary made a solemn vow to herself as they sat hand in hand. She would not allow uncertainty or fear to separate her from her daughter. Mary would be on Mariah's side no matter what her path took. Because ultimately, love was about creating new expectations together, not about conforming to pre-existing ones. And Mary felt hope for the first time in a long time. But as the cameras rolled for the Sister Wives Tell All program, the stage lights went down. There was a noticeable tension in the air, and the couches were arranged in a half circle. Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin were the wives who sat around Cody, who sat in the middle, sitting back with his arms crossed. In an attempt to defuse the situation, the host started off by asking a straightforward question. How's time management with Cody affected your relationships this season? Mary instantly shifted uneasily in her chair. She sighed deeply before responding. To be honest, she remarked in an emotional voice, it seems like I don't get much of his time at all. When he does show up, it's brief, preoccupied, and more like a duty than anything else. Cody scowled, without interjecting. Quickly, Christine added, I have also struggled with it. This unwritten hierarchy is established as Cody spends more time with Robin. Marriage, whether numerous or not, is meant to feel balanced, hence it hurts. Robin shook her head, feeling the attention shift in her direction. She said defensively, I'm not asking him to spend more time with me. He makes his own decisions on where to go. Furthermore, I don't think it's fair that I'm constantly portrayed as the one who takes him away. Usually keeping her emotions to herself, Janelle eventually leaned forward. However, Robin, you must observe how it appears. We wait for quality time with him for days, or even weeks. His energy, focus, and attention are transferred to you and your children. The rest of us, meanwhile, feel like afterthoughts. There was silence in the room. Cody's mouth clenched. At last, he raised his voice in exasperation. Because I can't divide myself into 4 equal parts, you all act like I'm a villain of some kind. Although I adore each and every one of you, I do occasionally find myself drawn to areas with more serenity and less violence. I've had enough of being accused of partiality. Tears filled Mary's eyes. It's not about being flawless, Cody. The important thing is to try. I don't always need you, but as the weeks pass and I start to feel unimportant, envy starts to creep in. I still want to feel like a wife, not because I despise the others. Christine gave a nod of consent. For our family, we have made a lot of sacrifices. The idea of sharing served as the foundation for our existence. However, we will be left battling for scraps of your attention if you are unable to balance us. We did not sign up for it. Robin's fingers were twitching uneasily in her lap as she gazed down. She had no answer for once. The host carefully leaned in. What does this signify for the future, then? Is jealousy a weakness or something that can be overcome? I think it depends on whether Cody is willing to acknowledge how we feel, not dismiss it, Janelle said quietly in response. Jealousy is a symptom of a more serious imbalance, not the issue. Cody sat quietly, clearly shaken. The wives' remarks had struck him more forcefully than he had anticipated. He appeared unsure and almost vulnerable for the first time in a long time, as though he had finally come to terms with how shaky the family dynamic had become. The sister wives were forced to confront a reality as the cameras continued to roll. Their marriages were no longer about equal love, but rather about who could stand to feel left behind. And at last, the long-suppressed emotion of jealousy had taken center stage. But the anticipation in the Brown household was high on this sunny Flagstaff morning. The sister wives had been discreetly preparing something special for Cody for weeks. They agreed that Cody deserved a day where all the attention would be on him, a celebration of his roles as husband, father, and the occasionally complex center of their family, despite all the ups and downs in their multiple marriages. It was dubbed Cody's special day. It was Mary who took the initiative first. She wanted to make sure the occasion had purpose rather than just being about presents. She firmly stated, "We need to remind him that, despite the fact that things haven't always been easy, we still see the effort he puts into keeping this family together." Always the one with a sense of humor, Christine proposed an unexpected outdoor celebration that would include games, food, and even a slideshow of past family photos. The pragmatic Janelle offered to take care of the planning, from setting up the backyard to placing the order for the enormous cake. With a touch of nostalgia, Robin offered to make a poignant video message including all of the kids, past and present, who had grown up under Cody's tutelage. All of the preparations were finished by late afternoon. A long table was adorned with flowers, string lights hung between the trees, and the aroma of grilled food filled the air. As they eagerly awaited the arrival of their father, the youngsters muttered. Every wife had selected a personal story to tell Cody. Cody was stunned as he entered the backyard. The normally chatty man simply stood motionless, his eyes wide, for once. "What is all of this?" His voice wavered between bewilderment and emotion as he inquired. Mary took a step forward and grinned gently. "Cody, this is your big day. One day, you won't have to deal with issues or bear the burden of everyone else. We honor you today." With her cheerful enthusiasm, Christine jumped in and drew Cody over to the table. "Mister, take a seat. We laugh, eat, and even have a few surprises. You are not permitted to be sour today." Robin's playing of the video was the evening's high point. Every child that appeared on TV conveyed love and thanks, with some crying and others smiling. One person said, "Thank you, Dad, for teaching us how to be strong." "I always knew you loved us, even when you were busy," said another. As he watched, Cody's eyes began to well up with tears. Although he rarely let his guard down in public, he felt noticed in that instant like he hadn't in years. He got to his feet, glanced at his wives and kids, and then he spoke. "I acknowledge my faults. This family hasn't always been easy, I realize that. However, you've reminded me today of the reasons I've put up such a strong fight for us. I appreciate you giving me this present." The evening continued with stories, dancing, and even a karaoke competition in which, much to everyone's amazement, Christine attempted to outsing Cody. While the spouses gathered around, sharing warmth and laughter that had been lacking for too long, the children played games under the fairy lights. Cody saw the night as more than simply a celebration. It was a chance to rediscover the love and unity that persisted in spite of their broken relationships. He silently wished as he extinguished the cake's candles that their family would always maintain the connection they had formed, no matter what shape it took in the future. Cody's special day evolved from a surprise celebration to a message that love and family can endure